My friends, it is easy to get really caught up in things this time of year. We look at all the things we need to do before summer, and our heads, they really just start spinning. And if you focus on the finish line, i.e., recital or nationals or showcase, then honestly, you're missing the whole strategy of this game of studio ownership. Studio ownership, it isn't really about hitting a finish line of the season. It's actually about what comes next. So in this week's episode, we are going to dive into identifying what phase you're in and how to focus on the bigger picture while not losing sight of those tasks at hand. If you're joining me, say, hey, Erin, what's up? Let me know that you're here. I always want to know who's with me when I come live every single Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern. And if you've stumbled upon this somehow, I'm Erin Bird, and I work with dance studio owners and educators to not only grow their businesses without burnout or overwhelm, but to, once they achieve that goal, look and see what's next for them. What is it that's going to make their heart sing and to continue to build their empire? Hello there. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. If you'd like a copy of today's show notes, drop the word show notes below, and my team and I will make sure that you get a copy of those. And am I missing anything? Oh, yes. Oh, if you come back in on the replay, I want to know that as well, because y'all, I believe that this should be an active conversation. And so even if you come back in on the replay, you'll let us know, a little hashtag replay, and we can pick up and have continue the conversation with you. I believe in learning out loud. And what does that mean in this area? So what that means is if something resonates with you, I want you to type it in, however you're watching, I'm not sure. Type it in to the comments, to the chat section, because it will anchor in the ideas for you and for the others who are coming back on the replay or who are here. They might lean in a little bit closer to see what it is that we're thinking here, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into this whole idea of, are we solely focused on the finish line, or are we looking at what's ahead? And I can tell you personally that with our business, well, we have multiple businesses, but with the arts dance nonprofit that I run, we serve a lot of students, and there's a lot of things that are coming. And when I say a lot of students, y'all, we're talking 12,000 students this year. So there are a lot of things to button up as we are winding out the end of the year. And I say that loosely because, it's the end of our season, but we still have summer session, and then we go straight into fall. Like, we have small little breaks, but we do continue things moving forward. And there's a lot of things to button up, and there's a lot of performances and showcases and, getting our ducks in a row and making sure we have surveys sent out to not only families, but staff and of our sites that we serve. So there's a lot of things this time of year that we get caught up in, all the different things. And and even for myself, I'm so glad actually that I took the little getaway with my hubby, and then my best friend flew in and her husband flew in from Oregon. I'm so glad that I took that little break, because what I could tell you is I could start to feel internally, starting to feel a little overwhelm or a little anxiety creep in, or a little, I don't want to say, no, it was more of like things were so serious. Things felt hard and like, okay, how am I going to juggle and do X, Y, Z? And not because we don't have systems in place, not because I'm trying to do it all on my own. It was just an internal conversation that I was having with myself. And it was feelings, honestly, not facts. The facts are that we have the systems in place. The facts are that we have an amazing rock star team that all know what they need to do. I've got my right hand gal over here who takes care of so much for me when it comes to making sure our classes are running and everything's running smoothly, and she's running our team. So, y'all, we have all those things in place. That doesn't mean that I'm immune from sometimes feeling like, oh, I've got all these balls in the air and I'm juggling. And so when things start to feel too serious or overwhelming, what I recognize for myself is that I need to have more fun and I need to play more, because creativity starts to flow when I'm having fun, when I'm playing more, when I'm not taking things so seriously. Can anybody relate to that? I don't know. I when I start to get stressed or whatever, like everything becomes so serious, and that's not fun. Right? That's not fun. And what we do in our jobs and our businesses, they are fun and they should be fun. But sometimes we get so caught up in all the things and all the to-do lists and the check marks that we need to check off that we stop having fun. And we lose sight of the future. We lose sight of the future. We're so focused with our blinders on about recital, nationals, comp season, all the things that are happening around us right now. We get caught up in that we actually forget to look ahead. And then once all of the things are done, it feels like all of a sudden, oh my gosh, how did June sneak up on me? How did September sneak up on me? Y'all, it didn't sneak up on you. It comes the same time every year. What's happened is you've lost sight of what's ahead. What is your vision? What is next? That doesn't forget about the now, but we always need to be looking ahead. What's our vision for ourselves, for our business? How do we want to evolve and grow? What's next? If you are not in your first year of studio ownership, dare I even say second year, but first year of ownership really. If you are outside of that, what you should know by now is that our businesses are cyclical. You have that recital every year. You have comp season every year. You may or may not go to nationals every year. I have some clients who kind of flip-flop. But if you created the program, competition, or if you made the decision to do a recital or showcase, it's not a surprise. So, what that tells me is we're not focusing on the things that matter. So, my friends, do you feel like you get caught up in all the things? Safe space. Let's be honest with each other. Again, like I said, I'm not immune to it. And I have to tell you, not only do I have to rein myself in, but I purposely have people in my world that rein me in as well. My program manager sometimes is like, Erin, rein it in. I'm a huge visionary, right? And so I am the idea woman. Let's make it happen, right? So sometimes she reins me in. I personally invest in a high ticket business coach, and she holds me accountable. She calls me out on my shiznit when I'm like, but y'all, we all need people to keep us in check. We all need people who are going to call us up and out right? Call us up and out and say, hey, like, what are we doing here? What's the plan? Are you on track? We need those people. Because if not, we're left to our own devices, and sometimes the feelings that come over us are not factual. They are literally just feelings. And a lot of times those feelings are out of fear or scarcity or lack or anxiety, and they aren't really what's happening. But you have to decide. You have to decide, am I going to just tell myself a story that when things slow down after recital, I'll do XYZ? When things slow down after comp season, I'll do XYZ. If there's one thing that I have learned over the years, is that life doesn't slow down. Life doesn't slow down. There's always ebbs and flows inside your business and your personal life, but what I do know to be true is that if you tell yourself, I'm waiting for the perfect time, or I'm waiting for things to slow down, my friend's life is going to pass you by. Life is going to pass you by. People make time for what they value and what is important to them. And I know I might be standing up on my soapbox this morning, but here's what you all need to know. If there's something in your heart that you want to do, you need to take action. There is no time like the present. There's no time like the present. And when we keep telling ourselves stories of why we need to wait, we are holding ourselves back. It's you against you. Telling yourself we have to have all the details figured out. Telling yourselves, oh, maybe I need another certification or another piece of paper before I do that. Or maybe I need to, y'all, you are holding yourself back. Why put off what you could do today? Doesn't mean it has to be perfect. But if you have something inside you that's calling you for the what's next, the bigger vision of your studio, the bigger vision of you and yourself, the bigger vision of, oh my gosh, you know what? I feel like I put together, all these things, and it could really help and serve someone. But I don't know if anybody would want to buy it. So I'm just not going to do it. That's a story you're telling yourself. You guys, I work with studio owners. I work with studio owners who want to grow their businesses. Maybe they need help with enrollment or staff and leadership and systems. Like we do. We have programs for that. Our Empire Builders Club is amazing for that. But then I have people, studio owners, who come to me who are on a path to build an empire. They want to create a legacy. They want to see an impact, have a ripple effect that is beyond their wildest dreams. And they've achieved the studio, right? They've achieved the studio. And, they've got it to a place where maybe it is kind of rolling self-sufficient for the most part. They get to come in when they want to. And they come to me because they don't know what's next. I have clients who have developed curriculum programs. I have clients who have added on additional revenue streams. I have clients who have complementary businesses here in our industry. I won't drop names, confidentiality. But I have clients who either not only have a studio, but also are doing the what's next for them to create impact, create a legacy, and to build an empire. It's about generational wealth. It's about leaving our industry better than when we walked into it. You guys, There's so much possibility and opportunity if you so desire it. So, no matter where you're at, the point of this episode today is to talk about don't lose sight of what the future holds for you. There is so much possibility. You have to decide that you're open and willing to go for it. That it's possible for you. Never, ever, ever, ever in my wildest dreams did I think that I would write a book. Y'all can see it right there. I do not identify as a writer, an author. That is not who I am. But there was something inside of me saying that I needed to do this for studio owners. And that's how the Passion and Profit Project was born. I felt the call, I listened, and I figured it out. I figured it out. Like, so my friends, what is sitting on your heart for what's next, right? The first iteration of Aaron Bird, you know, when I started Birdie's Kids in Motion all those years ago, my goal was to replace my corporate salary and to be home at night and on the weekends with my kiddos. That's it. I didn't want or need to serve 1,000 students. I didn't want or need to have a staff. I just wanted to replace my corporate salary. That was like the first version of me. But as humans, as people, we should be growing. We should be evolving. And the next iteration of me was, how do I make a bigger impact? How do we grew, like we grew that business. How do I make a bigger impact? And I was open to the how. People started reaching out to me and asking, friends of mine who own dance studios, who I grew up in the studio with, or maybe I went to college with, and they had saw, firsthand what I was doing. They just started reaching out to me and asking me to help them do the same thing. And then I thought, okay, right? Now, of course, I have a bigger story there with my dad nudging me along before he passed away. But then how do I evolve again, right? And then we launched the nonprofit and we, researched and we received some grants, amazing things. But my point is, every single time I start feeling internally the what's next, I listen to it. I listen to it. You are not meant to stay in the same place that you were 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Anyone who is in my community is meant for more. And when I say that, I mean you're meant not only for extraordinary things, but you're meant to have the life of your dreams, whatever that looks like. Is that more time with your family, your kids? Is it more time to go travel? Is it more financial freedom? Is it stepping into a role as a leader inside or outside of our industry, whatever that looks like for you? I have a client who's outside of our industry who's stepping into an amazing role as a leader of her industry. Because she knows she was meant for more. So my friends, my big question to you today is, do you have your blinders on and you keep telling yourself that there's a finish line? Or are you playing this game to win? Are you continually looking at what's ahead? What's next for me? And I'm not talking about 20 years down the road when it's time to retire. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about next year, 3 years. Like, what are you doing to create impact, create a legacy, and to build an empire? That's what we do here in my camp. We're about leaving this industry with a mark. So, my friends, do you have your blinders on? Are you telling yourself that when things get slower after comps, recital, whatever, then I'll do XYZ? Because I'm just so busy I can't possibly think about another thing. Or are you intentionally creating space and time for the things that are important that align with your goals and your vision for the future you? And if you need support with that, that's what we are here for. I support, and me and my team support our clients to get to their goals in the quickest fashion possible. This is not about needing years and years and struggle and sweat and tears and blood and all the things that they say. It's what's the quickest path for you? How do we create a plan that's in alignment with you, your values, and your goals, and where you want to be? Not what everybody else is doing. Not let's throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. You are the only you. You are the unicorn in a field of donkeys. But how do we create something unique that is exactly what you desire? And if you're not clear on what that is, it is one of my superpowers, is pulling it out of you. That's what I loved. Oh my gosh, I loved at our last Dance Studio Owners Business Retreat in Ireland, because during my one-on-one sessions with several of our studio owners, that's what I got to do. We got to sit there and say, okay, what's next for you? Let's get clear. Let's figure it out together. Based upon you, like asking those questions and pulling it out and recognizing, that doesn't feel good. I know I don't want to do XYZ, but I know that I want to share my knowledge. Like, it was beautiful. It was so good. And y'all, not that this wasn't on my plan to plug, but like, obviously, if what's next is kind of starting to rise up in you, but you aren't super clear on what that means for you, what the next level, what the next iteration of you is, I encourage you to chat with me about the Dance Studio Owners Business Retreat. This year it's in Australia. When it's cold and gross here, we will be on the sunny Gold Coast in Australia. It's going to be a beautiful place for us to really dive into this what's next. I have some amazing Australian guest speakers, Stacey Morgan, Simone Cadell. They are serious badasses who have next level and plus their businesses. They are freaking rock stars. They are building empires, or have built empires, and they are continually on the what's next. So I'm so excited for them to be joining us at our retreat and to really be sharing with you guys what that looks like. So y'all, if you want more information about the Dance Studio Owners Business Retreat in Australia, just drop the word retreat below and I will reach out and we can chat a little bit more about that. But I want to leave you with today just saying, please take off your blinders, remove the stories, and when something comes up and you're like, oh, I can't do that until here, I want you to stop and pause and say, is that a fact or a feeling? Is this a story I'm telling myself? Because what I know to be true is the things that we find important, we will figure out how to make it happen. We will figure it out. I mean, my goodness, just figuring out my kids' schedules with all their activities. But those are important to me and to my husband. Y'all know that's what keeps kids out of trouble. I'm like, yes, you're going to do the drama. Yes, you're going to do dance. Yes, you're going to do, like, yes. Now, obviously, I'm not letting them do all the things, but it's important to us. So we figure out the how. How do we make it happen, right? If it's important to you, you will find the time. Not find the time. You will make the time. And you'll figure out how to make it happen. Yeah? Okay. Y'all, my friends, also, if you'd like to chat, because when I was in Vegas on my little trip, get a drink. When I was in Vegas on my trip, I decided I just want to have fun. I want to play more. Like, I really thought about, like, what would be fun for me inside of my coaching business? Like, what's something I haven't done that would be super fun? And I came up with 3 new ways to work with me privately, one-on-one, that I think are going to be so fun and are going to be a total win for you. When I announced it, 2 of my team members came back and said, you want to share with us what you're thinking? What you're thinking of doing? And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess, because, they're going to get it set up on the back end. But I was like, it's going to be fun. It's going to be like a game, because I'm in this whole idea of I want to play more. I want to, like, what's this game that we can play? And so I came up with 3 different ways that you can work with me privately, ranging from $555 up to $11,111. 11111. I don't know. I was in Vegas and I was thinking about all those numbers, and I was like walking through casinos, and I don't know. Anyway, so y'all, they are crazy good. And if you have wanted one-on-one support, drop the word, I'm not playing. That's not a word. That's more than a word. But if you're done playing, if you're done telling yourself that, like, when XYZ slows down, when da-da-da-da-da, well, I can't do that, because if you're done playing, you're like, I am ready, I'm ready, then just drop it below. Say, I'm ready. And I will reach out. We will talk about the 3 options for you. But here's the thing. I'm going to only offer these 3 options, which are ridiculous. Like, my team told me I was ridiculous. And when I say ridiculous, because I am giving so much inside these 3 options that they told me I should stop it. What are you going to do? So, anywho, I am going to only offer these 3 options that I created while I was in Vegas. I'm going to only offer them for a week. So, this is we need to chat about it. We need to, have a conversation and see if it's a good fit. But my friends, they're bananas. Bananas. And let me tell you what, I'm sure my team will tell me never do them again. So there's that. Okay, so if you want to chat more about what could be the right fit for you, what's next for you, please drop us a message, a comment, DM me. I'm always here to talk to you. And next week, I'm really excited for our topic. So make sure to show up live next week for the Aaron Bird Live Show, where we dive into business strategy, mind shifts, and tips and tricks, and hopefully a little splash of spicy joy for you. Spicy and sassy joy for you. But I'm going to leave you all there. I hope that you have a fantastic week, and I will see you next week for another episode of the Aaron Bird Live Show. Bye, friends.